Hello, everyone. We're gonna build a keyboard today. It's gonna be amazing. Hopefully. Hopefully it'll be amazing. Is it gonna be a DZ60 or an ON C60? I wish it were either of those, actually. I wish it were either of those. The only PCB I actually have on hand right now, without desoldering something else, is a Finger 60 L3, which is a Liku with 60% PCB. I did test it before the stream. It did work more or less, so that's what we're going to go with this time. Not my first choice, but again, the only thing I had on hand. It's kind of just the way it is sometimes. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Liku PCBs either, but it's functional, and I'm a pretty basic user. I don't usually need to program a PCB more than once, so once I get it done, just call it good, and we'll, I won't have to worry about it again. Oh man, it's so hard to get the lighting right on this glossy black kit. We'll see if it functions after soldering. Yeah, I mean, it seemed to have like a couple issues, but hopefully it'll be something I can fix. It more or less worked, so that's good enough for me so far. It has been desoldered before, so it is what it is. Can we trust Perry? I don't know. We're gonna find out today. Hey, Mr. Keebs. You just finished yours? You built the Perry60? Crap, I was hoping to be the first one on stream to do it. You got me again. That squicks you out, soldering a PCB more than once. Yeah, I mean, if you desolder well enough, it's usually not a problem. This one actually looks pretty clean. All the pads are still well intact. Looks like it's probably only been desoldered once, and it was probably by someone that either knows what they're doing or by a very good tool. Join the Perry60? Nice. Yeah, I think the production run looks a little bit better than this prototype. But I imagine they'll probably perform pretty similarly during the actual typing experience. Not gonna do any spoilers? Okay, good. Don't tell me anything, Mr. Keebs. Just don't say a word about it. We'll figure this out. I'm a little worried putting it back together, just because of the tolerances. And the fact that there's like 800,000 screws. There's 16 screws in this, which seems a little excessive, but maybe that's needed for the pressure for the way this is mounted. Sushi with the tier 1 sub, thank you, sir. Pog to you as well. Proto was the proof of the mounting system. Yeah. Yeah, I spent like half an hour before the stream just taking off the paper to the acrylic. There's like 6 layers plus a plate, so 14 sides of paper I had to take out from acrylic. Oof. Took me a while. Mr. Keebs gifting a tier 1 sub to Duke Nate 5. Thank you so much, man. That is very generous of you, sir. So 16 screws, pretty excessive. Does the production run also use 16? And is that actually necessary for the mounting? I'm genuinely curious. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I promise. You're stupid and peeled it on stream. Audience went wild. Yeah, I don't know. I try to do like really tedious stuff off stream, like switch lubing, stab lubing. Like I already lubed my stabs for this build. Took out all the paper, tested the PCB. I don't want like 4+ hour build streams anymore, because I tend to build pretty slow on stream. So I try to knock out some of the stuff pretty quick. V2S12. Okay, so a definite reduction. Very nice. Cool. All right. Well, I guess it's 5 o'clock now. I can start actually doing stuff. Is the music too loud for you guys? Definitely let me know on that. I can't really test it too well from my end, so if I'm too quiet or the music's too quiet or loud, let me know. The music's too low? I'm gonna turn that up a bit. You can't hear any music at all? Really? I mean, it's a pretty chill playlist, so how about that? Now it's fine? Okay. This is a pretty quiet part of the song, I imagine. We'll leave it there, and let me know if it gets too loud, if it's a different song. Where did the AC sound go? It's not on right now. I have my fan on. I have it's like a portable AC unit, so it's kind of loud. But right now it's just acting as a fan instead of AC. It's not quite hot enough yet to warrant AC, but I don't know. Might turn it on during the stream just because my room tends to be a little bit hotter while I'm streaming because, you know, PC gets hotter. What's the playlist? It's literally just a 24/7 chill step playlist on YouTube. I'll link it right now. Nothing fancy. How are those keycaps? Oh yeah, so I've been using these for a while. This is the Cam. Starry Nights. I've been using this for a while just to test it out. I'm going to write up a little review probably either tonight or tomorrow and put it on the website. The TLDR is that they're fine. I don't like the glossy PBT as much as I like the smoother cat PBT. And I do prefer the sculpt of cat versus the uniform profile of Cam. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a little bit better than DSA, and I like it more than XDA quite a bit. But I've never really been a uniform profile kind of guy. I kind of like a little bit of sculpt. So, yeah, the TLDR is alright. I'd use them. I wouldn't cast them aside, but they don't blow my mind either. They look really cool though. Like that gloss is not like user shine. That's what it looks like out of the box, brand new. Look at all that shine. Ridiculous. Redonkulous. What's the profile called? It's called Cam. K-A-M. What are the switch options? Yeah, you guys are going to choose switches for me. I have pre-selected 3 different options. And we'll get to the voting a little bit later, but just so you guys can know now. I have some inks, Gateron inks, that have been lubed with MCG 111. These are all lubed by Straight Classy, so shoutouts to Straight Classy for the lube jobs. So these are Gateron inks with the prototype Novel Keys 55-gram springs. That's actually 55-gram actuation. The factory mislabeled them, or Novel Keys understood the weighting incorrectly. So these are actually 55-gram actuation, not 55-gram bottom out. So these are like 67-gram bottom out, I think is probably what they're around. 67 to 70 gram is usually how that works. I also have some T1 switches, which have been lubed with Tribasis 3203 and filmed with polycarbonate switch films. So that's the tactile option, and then the other linear option is going to be some Gateron glow-in-the-dark switches that have been lubed with GPL 105 oil. So all pretty good options. We'll choose that in a little bit. I'll do a straw poll once maybe a few more people are in here. I imagine everyone's gonna pick inks, but I'd rather use the T1s, I think, personally. just to kind of see what this kind of is going to be like with tactiles. But I mean, it's kind of a, as far as isolation mount goes, it's something that I've certainly never used before, this particular style. So I mean, inks are a good fallback because I'm very familiar with how they feel and sound in other environments. So could be a really good option here. It's probably the best option, but I think all the options are pretty good. Yeah, okay, so Mr. Keebs did linears, so maybe I should just do tactiles. I still don't have an uptime bot, I'm sorry. I've been live for about 17 minutes. That's including the starting soon screen. But yeah, we'll let chat decide on the switches. It's kind of fun to get the chat involved with stuff like that. Have you tried glow in the dark before? Mine kind of sucked. I haven't actually put them in a board yet, but I did feel them after they were lubed, and they feel fine. I mean, it feels like a smooth Gateron switch. These are lubed with 105 oil, so they're honestly quite smooth. And the spring, I think, is just like a Gateron yellow spring, which I do enjoy. So mine are totally fine. Everyone building their Perry now. Are there more people building Perrys right now? Waffle High is asking if there's a link for my preferred lube. There's not. But, well, I mean, you can go on eBay and get it, I guess. My overall favorite lube is still currently GPL 105 oil from Crytox. I think it's just a very nice, neutral, thin lube that I like quite a bit. It's not super thin, so you still get a little bit of that buttery kind of effect that you might get from an oil, but it doesn't completely take away from the properties of the switch like a lot of thicker greases do. So I'm more about that oil life. Hey Brick, it's going well, man. Looking forward to a build today. Skewed is gifting a tier 1 sub to Lana Likes Thick. Great usernames, by the way. Thank you so much for that gifted sub. Mighty kind of you. You heard oil? Are we taking dabs? Nah. No dabs at the moment. Alright. Well, now we're a little bit past my official starting time, so we're gonna show off just the kind of construction of this first before we actually get into building it. So it's gonna be a little hard to see just because this is a glossy black. Every single part of this is glossy black, so it's kind of hard to see. So I'm gonna try to catch it in the lighting. Right, there's 6 layers here overall. The PCB and middle layer kind of act as one layer together. The plate and PCB assembly, I mean. So you can't actually see the plate through these layers. The top 2 layers are these kind of chunky, big bezel boys here. From what I can see, they look the same, but the Group Buy Runner has told me that the due to some tolerances, I might have to, you know, mix and match and flip some things around just to make sure that everything fits right. So we'll probably be doing a lot of testing after I actually assemble the PCB and plate assembly. But as far as I can tell, these 2 top layers, chunky boys, and this is kind of like the mid layer, which is the 3rd layer down. And unless I'm totally mistaken, which I could be, I don't have a guide on how to actually build this, but it seems relatively straightforward. So this is kind of the middle layer here, where the plate will sit, and obviously the PCB under that. And then these 2 layers below the plate and PCB also look the same to me. Got the USB cutout over there. And then, of course, this big chunky layer is the bottom. So hoping for a pretty smooth process. My plate is actually broken. It's snapped right here. This is the newer plate that he sent me. I don't know if I did it or if it happened during shipping. It totally could be my fault, but it is snapped right there, where there's very, very little acrylic. Acrylic is pretty brittle. It's not like polycarbonate. It's not very strong, so it's very easy to snap. But I think this break is actually pretty minor, and I should be okay, and I should be able to build it just fine normally. That's what I'm going to try to do. If it becomes a problem, I might try to fix it somehow. I'm not sure how, but we're going to try to proceed just like this, as if it's totally fine, and hopefully everything works. That's the goal. Oh, is there a YouTube tutorial on how to build this? Okay, I'm gonna tab that open just in case I need that. Thank you for that. Thankfully, it seems pretty straightforward. How is the acrylic cut? I imagine by laser. Generally, that's kind of how it works. There was also some burn marks on the paper, which leads me to believe that laser. Pew 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 pew, lasers. Poop Zag subbing 13 months Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the subs, guys. Alright, so that's the kind of construction we're going with here. Hoping everything works. I did lube my stabilizers. You can see them off stream a little bit. Before the stream, just in the interest of saving a little bit of time. And I did test the PCB out beforehand as well. This is a Liku Perry60 L3. This was the only 60% PCB I had laying around, and I didn't really want to desolder anything else to steal a PCB from, so this is the option. Not my favorite PCB, and definitely not my favorite programming firmware, but hey, it's functional. That's all I'll say. It's functional. I did test it before the stream. It was working, so we'll get there. So as for switches, what I'm gonna do here, I'm actually gonna set all this aside except for the plate. I guess I'm gonna show off how a couple of these other things work too. So in this box, this was the original plate he sent me, which I think is wrong. So you can see these burn marks here. That's why I thought it was acrylic or lasered. Clean on that side, burned around this side. So this was the original plate he sent me, but he told me it didn't work, so he sent me the replacement one. So I didn't even bother peeling the paper off this initial one. Also sent me some bump-ons there, very nice. And of course the remaining hardware, as I will need it. And the way this is actually going to be mounted is with these rubber bands, which is kind of interesting. So the idea, at least from what it seems like, is you attach these rubber bands to various spots of the plate, and I'll be putting them on like such. And I imagine I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rubber bands total. And you kind of just put these around the edge. They go on relatively easy. They come off also relatively easy. So I'll just be putting those all around the edge, and then that will sit in the kind of middle layer, and once it's screwed together, the pressure will hold it together. So pretty sure that's how that works. So that'll be fun to check out. The idea behind the Perry60 is that it can get you what is effectively an isolation mount keyboard without spending a ridiculous amount of money. So I know the Polaris recently hit the market, but you know, obviously even at almost $300, while it's an awesome value, I imagine it's a great board for the price. This is even cheaper than that by a fair amount. So this kit actually comes in at $115 shipped. That's without a PCB, but you can add a PCB for $45 there. So for $160 shipped, you get the case plate and PCB, and shipping is included in that. So under $200 for the kit, which is pretty rare for a custom, especially one sporting isolation mount. So we're gonna find out how good this is. Perry60 Pog, yeah. I'm not looking forward to using that PCB, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. What's that wrist rest? This is the, it's a custom painted one from a group buy round run by a user on Keycap named Romeo Tran. Romeo Tran, I think is the name. They do custom painted wrist rests, and each round has different designs. This was from a few rounds ago. It's a character named Chi from an anime. That little kitty cat. Isn't it precious? I think it's adorable. Are non-subbed allowed to link? I have it. Yes? Yes. That's fine. As long as it's okay. I don't even think I have any mods in the stream anyways. Alright. Anyone else getting their DMG? I'm hoping to get my... I haven't gotten shipping yet. I haven't gotten a shipping notification yet, but hopefully soon. I did see and hear that it was arriving at the factory. Sure, all the mods come out now. I said that just to get you guys out. No worries. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put my stabilizers on my PCB first, test them to make sure they're okay, and then we will decide on what switches we want to go with via a straw poll. Getting their DMGs already? Where mine at? Oh my god, you guys are getting yours already? Where's my shipping? Where's my tracking? I want mine so bad. $95 are shipped? I don't know. I guess I'm just not cool enough. One day I'll be cool enough. Move to Brazil and you'll learn to control your anxiety. Yeah, you're just used to things taking forever to ship, huh? I know Brazil's pretty strict. Their import-export kind of stuff. You always get protos before anyone else. This is only fair. That's true. I complain a lot sometimes, but I'm very fortunate to be able to check out stuff like this before a lot of other people. And for that, I am forever grateful. DMG has forced berry color, escape, and enter? Wait. No way. There's no way I missed that. No, there's normal mod colored escape, and there's normal mod colored enter. They're just kind of placed oddly in this render. Oh, Legends. Oh, okay. Wah. So you're saying that the color of the legend on the normal mod colored escape and enter are different from the rest of the mods? Because obviously my colorblind ass can't see this. Maybe that is a little different, actually. That's an odd choice, actually, coming from them. So I am going to be opting for an HHKB layout, because that is what is forced with this plate, which is totally fine by me, because less stabilizers always equals mo beta as far as the building process goes and usage, in my opinion. So we'll just do the left shift, the enter, and the 7U space. There we go. So we'll test these first. I think these are all PCB mount switches, thankfully. These are PCB mount, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it to you. That is pretty odd. That is an odd choice. I don't know if that was a render mistake or if the sets are actually shipping like that. I mean, you guys know me. I hate forcing accents on any set. I think it's a very odd choice, especially when you go out of your way to include what shouldn't be the accents. Grabbing a key set real quick. Will this finally be the day where I can put GMK Deep Space on a keyboard? Will this finally be the day where chat votes for the set that I want to use? Find out on this episode of Dragon Ball Z. Hey, Langlandia. Howdy to you as well. That's good enough. Which PCB is this? This is the Perry60 L3, which is a Liku PCB. It was the only one I had laying around that wasn't already in use with another board, so I decided this was the one I was going to use. I did test it before stream, and it was working. Stabs sounding good. Awesome. I don't have to touch those up. Just lubed them before stream with a little 205 grade 0 Crytox. I am not going to be using Band-Aid mod because I do not like the Band-Aid mod on almost every keyboard. put some switches in here. I'm gonna make a straw pull first. I always forget. It's not strawpoll.com. That gets me every time, but it's strawpoll.me. Switch choices? Let's see, what do I got? T1 tactile switches. Lubed with something. Lubed with switch films. Gateron inks, 55 gram in quotations, lubed, and I got Gateron glow in dark switches, lubed. So there's the switch straw poll, guys. Vote on that. Vote my Switch destiny. What do you guys want to see? Gateron inks, Gateron glow in the darks, or T1 tactile switches. All of these have been lubed by Straight Classy, and the T1s have been filmed. Spam top clap for spamming? You should. It's about time I get banned. Just kidding, Twitch staff, don't ban me. Please don't ban me. It makes me dislike the Band-Aid mod. I don't really like it because it makes the bottom out a little bit softer, and I actually also like the additional sound you get from bottoming out a stabilized key. That kind of extra clack that you get from it. I definitely appreciate that. If I'm going for a completely silent build, I will often consider Band-Aid though. But that's the only time. Otherwise, not a big fan. Oh crap, DMC is here. Twitch staff, please. Straw poll a little bit more, a few more times. We'll wait 2 more minutes, 5:30 Pacific. Yeah, I want to use the T1s, but it's kind of fun to let Twitch decide as well. The glow in the dark switches are way behind the other 2 options, so I'm just gonna assume we're not using those. T1's Gateron's currently tied at 11 and 11. T1s have taken the lead at 12 votes. Inks also a great switch, but you know, inks we've had inks for a while now. You know, we've used them a lot. It's a good linear. I've put them in a lot of boards. Still haven't used T1s on a board yet. This will, if T1s get voted, this will be the first time I've actually used T1s on a board. The first time I've built with T1s and the first time I've fully used them on a board. Alright, we got less than a minute left. Last minute votage. Are they the same color as inks? Yeah, they both kind of have that smoky polycarb housing. I think it's polycarb, I could be wrong. Might be nylon. Alright. Twitch chat has officially spoken. We are going with the T1s. Fantastic. T1's won 15 votes to 11 versus the Gateron Inc. So we're going with the T1s, guys. Fantastic. What a time to be alive. Built yours with Everglides. How do you feel about the Everglide switches, Mr. Keeps? I thought they were okay. Love them, but you have to lube them. That's fair. Is that your relationship advice to me as well? Don't ban me. We actually have Twitch staff here. I don't want to get banned. DMC always lurking, waiting to drop the hammer on me. The Switch had a remarkably bent pin. I think I'm actually going to be one switch short for the T1s. I might have to do something different in, I don't know, the space bar or escape or something. But we'll figure that out. I think I have 61. I think I need 62 for this particular layout. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, though. Can I please give a kind shout out to GMK Froyo? Is Froyo not doing so well? I think Froyo is a pretty cool set. It also has text-based novelties, which I really, really like. Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead and link Froyo. People can check it out if they haven't seen it already. It's a cool set. I'd buy it if I had money. Yeah, it's a hard time for Froyo to be released, you're right. I mean, there's so many big sets and keyboards that launch this month, and it's tough. It's tough. Not that Froyo is a bad set, but there's so many like really hyped sets that launch this month. But that's kind of just our community moving forward, for better or worse. Yeah, and oops, Switch is not even closed all the way. I swear I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but you know, the Royal seems like a really nice guy, but his store is brand new, and when you don't have that, you know, that experience, that lineage of being, you know, your novel keys, your Dixie mechs, etc. Like it's a little harder to sell sets. This is a problem that GMK Necro ran into a lot initially too, because Jessica tried to run it on her own site, her own brand new web store that just had that, and it's, you know, when you don't have that reputation, it can be a little harder to sell. And I'm sure the Royal will totally get there, but you know, it's a brand new set, it's a brand new vendor, and you're trying to compete on the same timeline as a lot of other experienced vendors, and admittedly much higher hyped sets at the same time. So yeah, it's a really tough time for sets right now. Did you see the Leviathan base kit sample photos? I did not. Leviathan, that's the SA set, right? If I recall. I ran on KBD fans not too long ago. Wow, this pin is destroyed. Sheesh. GMK is going to start carrying some of their sets in stock all the time. They've got one set up already. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Q01's a pretty cool set, honestly. We're giving one away. I'm sorry, Royal. I mean the best intentions. I'm trying my hardest to avoid sounding like an asshole. Obviously, you're a really cool dude and you're doing a lot of cool stuff. And Froyo's a pretty cool set. But timing, man. Timing is not your friend right now. The Portland meetup crew is super excited to have you come to the meetup weekend after this coming one. Thanks, man. So it's next weekend? Isn't there a meetup in Portland every single month? And it's like 12 guys in a house or something? Which sounds like a great sitcom title. Chad11 subbing at tier 1. Thank you so much, man. Can't wait to hear the tactiles on this build. Yeah, I'll do a little typing test at the end of this stream, and I'll also do a proper one and upload it as a video to the YouTube channel as well, which is linked below the stream. T1s? Yep, we're using T1s today. This weekend is now, but also the coming weekend. There's a meetup this weekend and next weekend. So that's pretty nuts if there is. Portland keyboard enthusiasts go crazy, apparently. They go hard. Don't confuse them. I'm already confused. I'm in a state of perpetual confusion. Don't worry. Hey, look, it's a Perry60 proto. It sure is. Sure is. Hey, look, it's another switch that isn't closed properly. Will this be the first Perry60 prototype that's built with tactile switches? Oh no, I guess not, because Slippery Pete had one with ergo clears. Darn. I wanted to be the first at something involving this. Koff should have used inks. Inks were the obvious choice. Sometimes it's fun to go with the underdog, you know? Everyone uses inks. It's a good switch. I get it, but... fingerprints are a real pain. I'm gonna wipe it down a bit after I'm done. But yeah, this is... being glossy, this is kind of just a fingerprint onslaught. The best part about this is going to be one of the scenarios where the keycaps themselves are going to be more expensive than the rest of the board, because I'll probably wind up putting GMK on here. So why didn't you use glow in the dark for underdog? I don't know, man. That's... glow-in-the-dark switches are, like, beyond underdog. I don't think they sold very well. I mean, it's effectively just a Gateron yellow, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Glow-in-the-dark stuff's kind of wasted on me, personally, because I don't really care for it. But Mike sent them to me for free when they launched. So... alright, so I am short one switch, just as I kind of predicted. What do I do here? Do I go with like a linear in the spacebar? Do I use one of these glow-in-the-dark switches in the spacebar? I can use an ink in the spacebar. I'm not gonna do a Holy Panda in the spacebar. Clicky space. I'm not doing clicky spacebar, and I'm not doing Holy Panda. Glow-in-the-dark for escape. I don't know if I want to use the glow-in-the-dark for just one switch. It's questionable. The real question is, do I do T1 in the space or T1 in escape? I think that's the harder question versus what switch I use for the remaining one. I think I'm going to use an ink. Just run one Hirose? I don't even have any Hirose switches. T1 in space. Huh? Okay. I'll do the T1 in space. Just because Slippery Pete suggested it. And as he was so kind to provide this prototype, I should probably oblige. So we'll do... just do a little ink in the escape key. There we go. Not a big deal. It's actually pretty close to the same weight, too. Can always fix that later on. Silent Sky? I don't know if I have any of those. Alright. Alright, so I'm just going to check the alignment on these switches, make sure everything looks okay from the side angles here. Which it does. Just casual, normal, routine stuff here, guys. And I'm going to check the pins, make sure the pins are poking through. I like doing this before, just in case I solder one pad, but the other pin is broken. It's always kind of a nuisance. Alright, we got all the pins through. Making good progress, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to heat up my soldering iron now. Actually, since I thankfully didn't forget, I'm going to lay down another desk mat so I don't damage this one. Try to keep another slightly smaller one on standby here that I can just beat to heck. Just call it a soldering mat. Just a cheap, larger extended mouse mat that I got from Amazon years and years and years ago. The mouse mat you're using. I actually have like 2 or 3 of these, but since I wind up just using the nicer desk mats that I get from vendors like Novel Keys, Dixie Mac, etc., I like using the nicer ones, and I've kind of destroyed a couple of the nicer ones just by soldering on them, so I kind of just don't do that anymore. Now I just use 1 or 2 of these kind of beater mats to solder on. My poor Godspeed desk mat. I burned a hole right through it with my soldering iron. Hey, Dewey. Glad to have you here, man. Thank you very much for the sub. Alright, should be nice and heated thoroughly here. Let's do some soldering. Sorry if my head's in the way, guys. Usually when I solder off stream, I solder with my face like directly over the PCB. But on stream, sometimes it's kind of a hassle, but I try to move back a little bit so people can see that are curious. Slows me down a fair amount, though. Yeah, Perry60. I'm not happy about it, Upas, but it was the only PCB I had on hand. I would love I would love a fleet of on-C 60 PCBs. I would rep that PCB so hard. When I can afford it, I plan to pick up a few of the B-stock ones, because that's the layout I use anyway, so I don't care that it doesn't support 625 spacebar. Imagine my face when I have to use the Jigan software as opposed to VIA. You kind of lucked out. People love Sangon. Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of people buying custom PCBs from, you know, a retailer like yourself would probably be using Sangon layout anyways. So, it's pretty fortunate. Picking 2 more B-stock, yeah. I want a bunch of those B-stock on C60s. We're a bad influence. This whole community is a bad influence. But at least we're a bad influence in a positive way. Wholesome bad influence. That's right. Yeah, everyone head over to Cannon Keys and buy some on C60 B-stock PCBs. The price is reasonable. Very, very reasonable. You just gotta be a lover of 7U spacebar, like me. So I know everyone loves inks, but has anyone else tried ink reds? Their stock spring is kind of great for a stock spring. I haven't tried the reds yet. I hear that they're just like the normal black inks, but with a different spring. And red, obviously. Yeah, I heard mixed things about the yellows, but I hear only good things about the reds. I need to pick up some of the reds. And the yellows, I guess. But yeah, yellows I hear are a little controversial, a little mixed. Some people like them a lot, some people really don't. The sound of the yellows are crazy? What do they sound like? They sound like inks, but deeper, hard to explain. Yeah, well, they have a shorter travel distance, right? So, I mean, you kind of unconsciously or subconsciously hit them harder than you normally would. Because you're expecting it to be like a 4mm travel distance, but I think it's 3.6 or 3.4. Alright. In theory, I'm done soldering. Fingers crossed. Should probably change the Nightbot command real quick, so people know we're using T1 switches. All right. Hopefully we got this soldered up correctly. I'm gonna put it through a little bit of a test here. They don't call him Quakeums the Quick for nothing. I haven't called worse. Trevor804, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub, man. I really, really do appreciate that. Shout out to any of you out there that have Amazon Prime. And maybe you're not using your Twitch Prime subscription that you get for free along with your Amazon Prime. feel free to use that for Top Clack, if you so desire. I'm not expecting this layout to make sense already. Is that a function? Oh, it's a function. Interesting. You don't see people use that as function too much. Why is that delete? Who uses delete there? I guess this layout made sense for the previous user. Alright, every key registers. That's all I cared about. I can worry about the layout later. Alright, so we are done soldering. Very nice. Nice. And get this horrendous desk mat out of the way. Get back to my beautiful Metropolis mat. Quite a unique layout, yeah. Have the down arrow and delete. Pretty random. It'll do though. It'll do for now. Okay, now we have the tricky part now of assembling this. I have been told that I should put keycaps on before I do any assembly, just so I can make sure the alignment's right. Because there will be a little bit of alignment. Since the plate doesn't screw in anywhere, it's just a pressure fit with the isolation rubber bands. So it's easier to do that when you have caps on, so that way you can see the tolerances between the gaps. So we're going to put caps on first, and then we're going to assemble this, in theory. So I'm going to do a little bit of a straw pull here. Or do I just put deep space? I'm just going to put deep space on. You guys don't even get to vote. I'm using this set for the first time in my life. I bought it like 2 months ago. 3 months ago or whatever. And I still haven't used it on a board. I know it's a hard set to use, but, you know, I don't care. I know this set is not even everyone's favorite, but when I was a little bit newer to the community, Deep Space, this was like the set. DSA Deep Space was like the one that everyone in the aftermarket was paying like $400 for. So, I do think it's a good set. Don't mind me just breaking the world. I'm going to leave things that I can accent kind of aside so we can decide if we want to do some accents later or not. We'll leave out like the whole accent row too, because if I recall, you can actually do, there's like a special, I don't remember what it's called, like a cosmic or astronomy kit or whatever, where you can kind of do your entire number like that. So we'll leave that out too, just in case. There's a lot of keys in this base set. DSA Deep Spac. Yeah, it's a good set. Might not blow everyone's mind, but I think it's a good set. .5 UFN. I feel like that doesn't come on very many sets. This is a pretty over-the-top base kit in terms of how many keys you get. I wonder if my Space Cadet Q is hiding in this somewhere. Not that it should be, but a man can dream. GA333E, long time no see. Take some breaks sometimes. Yeah, welcome back, man. I definitely recall your username, and I haven't seen you around for a while. It's funny, I have a terrible memory, but when it comes to this community, people's names, what they do, what they have and stuff, I know, like, everything. It's crazy. Like, it never leaves my memory. But I can't remember, like, what I ate yesterday. Does anyone know how the plate mount on the Polaris is going to be? Didn't they show it off? In the thread? Pretty sure they did. I bet you Brian finds a Space Cadet Q in one of his key sets. I hope so, man. That's like a really good outcome for me right now. I don't know if I want stepped or barred, assuming the set supports both. So I'm just going to set that aside for now. Oh, God, I always forget to take away this thing. Someone's got to remind me to stop being so stupid. That actually sounds pretty good so far. Yeah, Mr. Keeves, I never thought that I would lose a key, and then I did. And now I'm big sad. Especially when it's like an actual, like, pretty important key. Very, very big sad. Also, yes, I know I'm very slow at putting on keycaps, and for that I apologize. Anyone managed to snag a Brutal 60 SE? I wish I could have, but I didn't. There's two accents for this? It's 3 different enters? It's pretty wild. Why is there 2 tabs? Oh wait, no, I know why. There's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. Hold on, I know why there's 2 of the same tab. It's because... Wait, no. I think it's what Bingsu is doing, GMK Bingsu. I think they include a second tab because if you buy a supplementary alpha kit, you can actually use it on like a 40% as well as a larger board. I think. Does anyone else know why there's a second tab? It's the same profile. Same size, same profile, same color. I gained a lot of time on that blazing fast soldering. That's pretty normal soldering. Although it is always kind of quicker to solder a PCB that's already been soldered because the solder just flows onto it a little bit easier. Did that not get replaced yet? Rip Space Cadet? Yeah, I need to hit up both GMK and Mastrop again. They both said they'd look into it for me, but you know, obviously they're pretty busy people. I'm not going to, I don't want to bug them too much, but I'll probably reach out again. To make up for the lost Space Cadet keys. Man. Losing such an important key in a GMK set is gotta be one of the most disheartening things that's ever happened in my keyboard career. I'm surprised it took me this long for it to happen, though. We're almost there, boys and girls. No, I lost my Q key. Very, very big sad. All right. I think I'm gonna go Bard instead of Scooped. I've been enjoying Bard lately more than Scooped, so I'm just gonna make that decision. And I'm also going to go with the mod colored tilde, even though I know it's wrong. The real question is accents. Enter accents, escape accents, both, none. Do I keep it au naturel? Do I go with these planetary keys? How creative, on a scale of 1 to ridiculous, how creative do I get here? Both of them, none, 0 accents, none accents. Give me that yellow pop. Salvatore Dali. Keep it clean. I tend to prefer no accents, but we're gonna play around just a little bit, just to see what could look good. All right, so let's actually, this is just au naturel, no accents at all. Let's try it with the enter and escape though. Plus with the yellow enter and escape. Definitely much brighter. Go full vomit? Oof. How is going to ask us than not? Because I'm a terrible, terrible person. What do you guys think? Accents? The yellow accents? Is that the way to go? I don't know how these are... I don't know if these are supposed to be assembled in a certain way, but like you can do like your numero with these, which is probably pretty intense. These are row 4, these two. The rest are row 1. Then I also have this accent. So there's actually 2 different accents here. So we do the yellow, or we can do this kind of lighter blue, I guess. I don't know. Forgive my color blindness. But we can kind of do like a slightly less intense accent. Let's go like that. I'm not really sold on the yellow. The yellow seems a little too intense, in my opinion. But what do you guys think of that? Is that better? Or do I go with the au naturel? Keep blue, looks much better. Blue, that's good. I prefer yellow. Blue. Regular, natural. Alright. We'll go back. We'll go back to the au naturel look for now. Then once we assembled it, maybe we'll switch some things up. We'll set these off to the side just in case we use them. I don't think I'm going to use these, at least right now. This whole numero planetary thing, I think I'm just going to not do that. At the moment, at least. But we'll leave out the enter, accent, and escape, just in case we change our mind. My preference is not that set at all. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of people don't like this set, but oh well. Alright, so now we're going to attempt to assemble this. We're going to need our mounting hardware, our fleet of rubber bands, bump ons just in case. Of course, the rest of the kit there. He also included this nice little note, which is pretty lovely, which is very, very nice. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you all. This project has been a lot of fun for me and very valuable for both design and group buy management experience. You all had faith in me and the project, and that is something I am infinitely grateful for. I would love to open a dialogue with any and all of you in terms of improvements that I can make going forward in terms of the keyboarding group buy in the future. You can reach me at Slippery Pete, then that's his various tags there. Thank you again for having confidence in me, and I look forward to hearing from you. That's nice. I like notes like that. That's cute. All right. Have the rest of my mounting stuff right there. The 4 that were in there originally. And these are the other 12. Nice shirt. Thanks, man. I like it. Okay. So, I believe the actual group buy version, the V2, is not going to be using these kind of nut situation here, as much as we all love nut. Maybe not the best for keyboards. It makes it kind of obnoxious, and they protrude out the bottom. These screws are a little too long, but you know, that's what prototyping's for. So I'm not entirely sure how to approach this, so we're just going to kind of figure things out. I'm pretty sure all 3 of these layers can just sit here. These are the bottom 3 layers, and that's fine. I guess first I should apply the band-aids, though. Or not band-aids, rubber bands. The other band. So we're going to put rubber bands on here. I almost did it again. I think I put them everywhere, too. I think I used 8 of them entirely. Maybe someone in chat can correct me if I'm doing this wrong. I haven't actually watched that video yet, so... Everyone loves nut. Trying to make sure these are on all the way. This is a really interesting system to do this too. I'm very, very interested to see how this actually turns out. So it looks like use 8 of them total. He did include 1 extra. Cool. I always like having spares of anything. Nice touch. Yep, so the rubber bands are for isolation. This is to ensure that the plate only comes in contact with these actual rubber bands here, which are used for isolation. So that way you can't get any reverberation through the case. The goal here to pretty much any isolation or gasket mount solution is to reduce the vibration and reverberation that you get throughout the rest of the case, like you would normally in a more traditional top mount or tray mount or sandwich mount style situation. So the idea by doing this is that you get a little bit quieter of a keyboard, but it also gives you a lot more precise of a sound, since you're hearing pretty much only the switches in the plate versus the rest of the keyboard. It's been pretty popular the last year or so in the keyboard hobby. Okay, this is going to be the fun part, because I honestly have no idea if there's like an easy way to go about this, and I'm probably look like a fool. Just trying to like line these up, and I assume I just set this in basically, and it kind of goes in between all that, and then these two go on. These are all the layers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So I might have the layers. I'm pretty sure I have them right, but apparently just because of tolerance issues, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I might have to flip some of the layers around just to make sure everything matches up. But I tend to be a pretty fortunate guy. I'm very lucky, so we're gonna hope this works out. Oh man, you can't beat me. So fun to see someone else doing it. What? What are you implying here? Are you watching me do something wrong and you're not saying something? Is that what's happening right now? Nope, I'm good. Okay. So we're gonna attempt to thread some of these really long screws. We're gonna do the 4 corners first, and if everything is aligned right and matches up right, then we're gonna do the rest. But we're gonna start off pretty small here. All right, that one went all the way through. That's a really good start. Oops. That was a dumb move by me. Get back in there. There we go. I'm going to try to get one of these nuts on. I have pretty huge hands, though, so this is not the easiest thing for me. So I'm glad they actually swapped this in the production run. I have some form of pliers somewhere around. Maybe I'll use tweezers. These are pretty tiny. I'm not going to tighten it completely yet, so I want to see if I can get the rest of these in without having to fidget around with too much. This is going to be the kind of the hardest process of the build, in theory. You did it all wrong, Mr. Keeves? Try to put one in the middle? Okay. I'll take your advice there. I'm actually kind of curious how necessary it is to use all 16 of these. And I wonder if I can get away with, like, half of that. I'm probably going to have to take it apart a bunch of times, is my guess. Because this one's not going in. The four corners are the easy ones. The middle two have the tolerance issue. Okay, so the top and the bottom middle, these two, have the issues. In theory, could I just put... No, it'd probably be bad just to do the four corners. I think you really do need the pressure with this type of mounting. Okay, so basically what you're saying, Slippery Pete, is what I need to do is just try to get these two in first, and if these two go in, the rest are okay, right? That's how this works? Okay, let me take out this corner one then. Alright, let's see, the mid layer needs to be rotated 180 degrees. Okay, so just the mid layer then, the one with the plate. So this one, I just rotate that 180. Apply the tops again. Stop me if I'm doing anything stupid. Getting there. Alright, I got that one in. Making progress, boys. Alright, so I'm gonna loosely put a nut on this one. We nutting out here. So, loose nut there. I'm going to try this bottom middle one. Yeah, this one doesn't quite line up as well. Maybe I need to swap something. Maybe I'll swap the top two. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. The top one went in. The bottom one, I can get it through the first 2 layers, and it looks like the 3rd layer is fairly off, actually. Yeah, so we're gonna. I think we're gonna try to flip the top 2 layers. Or maybe flip one of them. Try flipping the mid layer now. I already flipped it though, remember? It didn't work. So I need this bottom one to line up. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to attempt a process of elimination here. Let's see if a screw goes all the way through without the 2 top layers here. Okay, that's pretty misaligned. Give me my screw back. I'll try flipping it this way. A different kind of rotation. Better. It's hard to like hold everything together while you do this. Okay, we're going deeper. We're getting a little deeper. Oh. Hey, okay, so that goes all the way through. That's nice. That's a good start. Okay, so we know that goes all the way through. Let's put the tops back on and see if it still goes all the way through. I'm not gonna lie, guys, lining this all up is kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, we got them all the way through on that one. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we got the bottom one in. Can we get this one in? That'll be quite a victory. I'm gonna put a loose nut on this one. Alright, loose nut. I'm gonna try to line these all up. Okay, which we can't, because this middle layer, I really should have paid attention to how this was done when I took it apart and then just not moved it. This is kind of my fault. Yeah, the hole is way off on that one. I'm not really sure what I need to rotate anymore. This is like, it's like I'm in the Matrix right now. Okay, new strategy. I'm just going to continually rotate things until I can see all the way through. Alright, so these have to go this way. There's no other way these can go. Right? Can't turn these any which way, so those have to go that way. Last acrylic build ever? Nah, probably not. I mean, it's kind of a pain, but it's not a big deal. We'll get there. Just a little tough to align. This would be easy if I was big-brained, but instead, my brain very small. Okay, both of those go all the way through right there. That's pretty good. So we know this bottom is lined up just fine. Process of elimination. So, put the plate in. So this way is fine, all for except the top 2 layers. So now we don't have to move this. So we're getting closer, guys. Sorry, this is ridiculous. Yeah, the production unit will be a lot easier to manage. So we'll take this one layer at a time. So we already know the screws go in the bottom 4 layers. Let's try to get it through these now. Alright, we got full through on that one. Can we get this one all the way in? That'll be another big step for keyboard enthusiast kind. This should, in theory, work. Alright, there we go. Got through 2. We got one more layer, but we know this works. It's slow progress, but it's progress. I'm sure Mr. Keebs is laughing at me right now, because he probably had this done in, like, a minute. Alright, let's try this again. Closer. Alright, that one goes all the way through. but will this one. We both lack brains. Oh, man. Yeah. At least we can go on stream and show people that we lack brains. Oh. Hey, look at that. We got both 2 middle ones in. It's a good start. I'm going to go ahead and nut twice on this one. Because, you know, sometimes you got to nut twice. Alright, in theory, we're making progress. Okay. Let's aim for a couple of these corner ones now. I'm gonna laugh when this one doesn't go in. There we are. Another loose nut. We're gonna nut like 30 times in this build. It's gonna be amazing. Sorry I haven't been paying attention to chat, guys. Phrasing? No, you heard me. You guys heard me. Alright. Uh-oh. I don't know how this corner is going to work now. Maybe I messed something up somewhere. This corner is pretty misaligned. You can kind of tell there. Oh boy. So I guess if I get the first 2 middle ones in, it's still not good enough. There's still some rotation to be done, I guess. Get a drill? That would be pretty easy. Okay, where am I going wrong? That's the real question. Flip and rotate 180 on the top 2 layers. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have no choice but to actually, like, take it off. Penguin had a great suggestion. Take the top layer and put the screws in and lay it down. Then you can just slot each layer after that. Take the top layer and put the screws in, lay it down. So, like, put the screws in from the other way? Wait, maybe I'm gonna run away with this. Use the screws as standoffs while you line it up. And assemble it upside down. Yeah, I need more arms. Where are my extra arms, please? Yeah, I was trying to do the screws to align them. I got the middle two in, and I got one of the corner ones in, but then that made the other ones pretty misaligned. So I flipped the top two layers. Get two books to hold the top of the top bezel and the bottom bezel a la Topra disassembling style stacking. Yeah, that's valid, but the problem is like you kind of have to jiggle some of the layers just to get the screws in all the way. If it were like a straight shot, that'd be one thing, but you kind of have to like maneuver things. Okay, actually this alignment might work. I think I might actually have it right this time. I can see pretty clearly through all of the holes here. This might actually work. I'm gonna put some nuts on. It's only taken me like, what, half an hour to do this? 45 minutes. I think I finally have it. I think. Hoping. I'm not going to really clamp anything down until I align the plate a little bit better, though. Plate needs to move just a little bit. A couple of the caps just barely catch on this right side. I need to move the plate just to the left a little bit, which I might need to take the screws out to do. Because of the rubber, they don't really slide. Maybe I can half-ass it. That might have actually worked. That might have actually worked. Sometimes half-assing is the answer. Okay. Not looking too bad so far. Now to put in 12 more. And now you're the subject matter expert. I don't know about that. It's a lot of trial and error, as you very well saw. Half-ass is the best ass? Nice. Gotta take all these nuts off. So much nut in this stream. Oh, dropped a nut. Thankfully, it's in the crotch area. That's just destiny, right? Yeah, the assembly process should be a lot better on the V2. Okay. Come on, don't fail me now. I need some good news here. I can see through them all, but like a couple of them are just barely off. Some of them go in pretty easily. Shit. I don't know, maybe I just won't put all of these in. I feel like all 16 is a little excessive to begin with. So we're just going to try to get some of these in a symmetrical way. dropping nuts, boys. I'm just gonna look for that one later. Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to get this corner one in. Don't think. Oh boy. So almost all of them go in. Almost. One thing I know for sure is, at least on this stream, I'm not taking this back apart again. So we're going to get in as many of these as we can, and then we're just going to go from there. What board am I using? What I'm building right now is the Perry60. You can use the build command that you see in the title of the stream. It'll tell you the specs as well as give you a link to the group buy. Oh, the board in front of me? This is just a Noxery T60 tray mount case, 4-point tray mount. And I have an HS60 PCB in there, and then a polycarbonate plate from KBD fans. The set is Cam Starry Night. $159 with a tier 3 sub. Wow, what a god. Hey, boo. Thanks for stopping by to watch me struggle. I've been trying to properly get this together. I was done soldering like over an hour ago, I think. I've been trying to properly get this seated, and a couple of the holes are giving me some trouble. So I'm pretty much just not going to do them all. I'm just going to do every one that goes in all the way. Yeah, that's right, Titan. Deep Space finally got a home. I don't think that one's going in. One, two, three, plus an extra. So I have 3 currently that are having a lot of trouble going in. I might be able to thread a couple of these. Get it past that one problem layer. Should actually go all the way in. This is actually working. Alright, look at that. We're coming out the other side. It's a tight fit on this hole. But we got there. If I'm lucky, I can do that with the other 2 holes that I'm having issues with. I appreciate all of you sticking around for this journey, this adventure. Currently at 69 viewers, which is the proper amount of viewers. This one looks like I could thread it too, if it doesn't go in automatically. It's close enough where I can just kind of thread it through the acrylic. There we go. Making progress. Alright, we got one more hole. This is probably going to be the most difficult of them all. I'm going to hope I can thread this one. So I get it lined up right. But even if I can't, having one of them off is not the worst thing that could happen. Slippery Pete's probably here watching, wondering why I'm cannibalizing this board. Hand cramp. Yeah, so this is the V1. The V2, which is currently in group buy, is going to use standoffs, so you won't have to put up with this kind of nonsense. I think it's going in though. I think we're good. As I stab my 7 key. Just drill out the hole. I don't actually have a drill, otherwise I would. It's all good though. We're drilling in a different sense. Okay, look at that. We got all of them in. It was a little bit of a nightmare, but hey. Sometimes keyboard building is just like that. Looks like I do have an extra screw. I dropped my other nut, but extra screw, extra nut on the ground. I don't think I have... Maybe I have something to tighten these. Not the right size. Where's that apparently? There we go. Alright, we're going to tighten these a bit. Suppose I should probably hold the screw from the other end. No bump-ons? He included some bump-ons. I'll probably put them on. We'll see. Not the right size. Watch me just break everything. Should have put bump-ons between plate and PCB to keep them separated. Yeah, I thought about that. I've done that on previous acrylic builds. I don't know. I kind of want to just build this one the way it was intended for me. These aren't going on quite as tight as I was expecting, but should be good enough. almost all of them. Sorry it's taking so long, guys. Okay. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. Obviously the issue here with the V1, which will not be present in the V2, is now I have all these screws coming through the bottom. So I have nothing really to stop that against my desk mat, which is kind of unfortunate. He did provide some bump-ons, but these are just not large enough to really overtake the length of the screw that comes out the bottom. So I'm probably going to have to come up with a different solution here. One that I'm not entirely sure. I think going forward in the future, I'll probably get some new bump-ons. I don't think I have any large enough at the moment, but what I'll try to do is I'll probably get some and try to get some like big ones for feet, like right here. Probably put them like right there, and then some smaller ones that are just enough to overtake these screws down here. So that's probably what I'm going to try to do here. Otherwise it's going to be flat, which isn't a problem. Some people like that, but I prefer a little bit more of an angle, at least 5 degrees, if not 7. My hand hurts so bad from all this screwing. We're going to do a brief cleanup over here, and then we're going to do a little tightening test. I'm very happy that I was able to get all of the screws in, though. I wasn't really expecting to, so that was a nice plus. Yeah, so no real reason to put these bump-ons yet, because they're not thick enough to overtake these screws, so I'll wait on that. I gotta find my other nut on the ground as well. Alright, so we'll do a little bit of a typing test. Alright, I'm going to pause the music. We'll do a brief little typing test as is tradition before I head out. Also, shout out to Breezeon, I think is that username, for the tier 1 sub. Greatly appreciate that, my friend. Big thumbs up to you. Breezion? My bad. Breezion. I have so much trouble reading people's usernames. I never realized like how difficult it was until I started streaming. I'm gonna move the mic a little closer here, so hopefully you guys can get a little bit better audio. That is quite a spacebar. testing all the corners just to make sure they don't actually catch on the case anywhere. Seems pretty good. I'm honestly impressed with the sound. That turned out even better than I was expecting, as far as the sound goes. That's pretty good, though. What do you guys think? Does that sound pretty good? I know the mic is, you know, not the greatest way to... My mic in particular is not exactly amazing for typing sounds, but it sounds pretty good, if I do say so myself. I was expecting it to be quieter after hearing Slippery Pete's typing sounds with the ergo clears. I thought this was going to be like much more of a whisper, but it's actually relatively clacky, at least with these T1 switches. Look at that! Look at that flex. You probably can't even see that. There's like actually a fair amount of flex too, mainly just because the way the board is right now without bump-ons on. It just bows like all the way down in the middle. This came out pretty well though. Not too shabby. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it, but I will need to get some bump-ons. Typing on a flat keyboard actually drives me nuts, especially when you have a sculpted profile like GMK Cherry. It can get a little wonky when you're trying to type on like a completely flat board like this. But if it was propped up to like 5-7 degrees, maybe this would be really good. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to go on Amazon immediately after stream and pick up some big bump-ons. Get some feet over here, some smaller feet over here, and try to get at least a 5-degree angle. And it's going to be pretty good. I'm excited. Very, very excited. Seems like you guys like the way it sounds. Nice. Very nice of you. How do these switches / lube job feel on these T1s? It's a good question. Yeah, these were done by Straight Classy, who does lube a lot of my switches these days just because I either don't have the time, and sometimes I'm just too lazy, if I'm being honest. I've lubed so many thousands of switches in my life now that it's become a chore. I don't really enjoy it anymore, even though I will do it if I'm testing out new lubes and stuff sometimes, but yeah, I kind of just outsource my lubing now. Spacebar is pretty good. I think he did pretty good on these switches. I think every time I send him switches, they come back to me better than the switches I sent him before. So, you know, it was kind of a gamble testing him out at first, just because he had only done like a couple hundred switches at the time, which is like very, very minimal switch lubing. That's practically no lubing experience in my book. And the first batch I got back from him were okay. They were a little inconsistent, but I talked him through what I like. And the second batch was like noticeably better, and then the third batch was like even better than that. So he's gaining experience very fast as he does a lot of lubing now. So very, very, very happy about that. So these came out pretty well. These were also filmed too. Someone suggested that I film the T1s, so they feel pretty sturdy too. The various isolated bump-ons would work well, probably. Yeah, I should check those out. I think I have some from that brand, but I know I don't have anything big enough to actually clear these. These screws come out pretty far, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, that came out pretty well. I didn't even have to watch the assembly video. Alright guys, what do you think? Came out pretty well, right? Clean up some of this fingerprintage going on. Thanks, Brick. Appreciate it, man. Have a good rest of your night. Maybe a Sorbathane strip for a bump on? Oh, that could be interesting. That could be really interesting, actually. Just like some Sorbathane, like right there. Do you mind if I DM you about how to run a charity event? Asking Existentially Yours, which is one of my favorite usernames. Sure, you can DM me. I don't think I've ever actually run a charity event, technically. Although Clack does actually have at least one charity event coming up. Little teaser there. Or two, actually. I think there's two that I have planned, at least. But yeah, you can definitely DM me. I don't know how much I can help, but I'll do my best. Would you be willing to do a new stream with the production model? Check out the improvements? I would freaking love to, my friend. Absolutely. That'd be amazing, yeah. I mean, the build was with the exception of the screwing things in, the rest of the build was a breeze, and it was a joy. And I do like the way it looks. But I am more interested to check out the production model now that the bezels are thinner and you have the flared design on the sides instead of having it all even. I do like the flared look a lot more. And the idea of being able to screw it in a lot easier. Yeah, I'd love to check out one of the production models, absolutely. Build it up with some different switches. Try linears in it. That way you can have a linear and tactile kind of side-by-side comparison. That could be pretty fun. Frosted acrylic seems like the smart man's play. Yeah, I don't know. The black came out pretty well too. But, yeah. I think I like the frosted acrylic a little bit more, but the glossy black's pretty cool too. It's just a fingerprint magnet. I can send you some adhesive EVA bump-ons in various thicknesses, including some long strips if you want. That'd be pretty interesting, yeah. I would love that. Remember this, my escape switch is actually an ink. The rest of the switches are T1s, but this one's an ink. Sound pretty similar though. Well, if anyone has any closing questions before I head out, now is a great time to get them in. I'll be heading out in just a few moments. If anyone has any questions about the build or anything, now's a great time. Shout out to Slippery Pete, of course, for providing the prototype sample. Very, very nice sounding and looking board. A few minor issues, but obviously this is a V1 proto, and the V2 will be quite a bit nicer. If you guys are interested in the updated V2, the group buy is open right now. Oh, it's not plugged in. Why are you not working, keyboard? But if you're interested in getting a V2, which should be better in pretty much every single way than the one that I built today, you can check out that Keycap link right there. Oops, that's not what I was trying to do. Ha ha ha. But yeah, there's the group buy link. $115 shipped, or $160 shipped if you include one of the on-sea PCBs from Cannon Keys, which is a great PCB to use. And yeah, pretty good. Pick up some stabilizers and switches, and you still got yourself a sub $200 board. Should we throw some accents back on? Probably not, right? I kind of like the normal look. The yellow is just a little too blinding. I thought this was okay though. I think the blue was all right. How is the feeling on acrylic? I like acrylic. It's fairly soft. It feels like a more brittle polycarbonate, which makes sense because polycarbonate is quite a bit stronger. But it's nice. If you're the type of person that likes really firm typing experience, like stainless steel, brass, and maybe even carbon fiber to some extent, then this might feel a little soft to you, but it's not too bad. I personally like it because I prefer the softer typing experiences. I like polycarbonate plates. I like acrylic plates. Palm, very soft and flexible material. I love that. That's my favorite. So yeah, this is within my realm of comfort. I like this quite a bit. That desk mat, yeah, man. Metropolis desk pad, really good. It's one of my faves. It's still getting beat up even though I try to protect it. It's just the way it is. How would the various plastic plates rank for stiffness? For stiffness, huh? I guess... I haven't really thought about it, actually. I guess acrylic would probably be the stiffest of the plastic plates, although it is, you know, relatively flexible. PLA? Okay, yeah, there you go. PLA, PC, Palm, acrylic. You think PLA is... Wait. Are you ranking that from most stiff to least stiff, Geo? Or vice versa? I feel like PLA... Oh, okay. Yeah, PLAs should be pretty firm. PLA should be pretty firm. That's going to be like your 3D printed plastic plates, which you don't see too often. Polycarbonate, very, very flexible. Very, very not so stiff. I guess it kind of depends on how you view, you know, flexible typing styles too. I would say Palm and polycarbonate are probably pretty equal in terms of stiffness. They're both very soft. Acrylic is probably a little bit stiffer than those two, but not like a whole lot. And then PLA definitely is probably going to be your stiffest. PBT was pretty flexible. I didn't really like the PBT plate. For some reason, it felt like I was just like not even using a plate, so I didn't really like it. But in terms of stiffness, it was probably around the same as acrylic. I'm not basing this on any scientific fact, by the way, so I could be very wrong in terms of like raw, actual numerical values, but this is just in my typing experience. How do those plates come out anyways? Oh, the PBT plates? Yeah, I didn't like the PBT plate on the Salamander. I thought the Salamander was a really overrated board, personally. It was fine, it was just kind of overrated. But yeah, I did not like the PBT plate on it. It felt like I wasn't even using a plate. PLA plates are super flexy, are they? I think the only time I've really used PLA plates were on they were integrated, so yeah, I guess I don't have a ton of experience with that. Trying to decide between Palm and acrylic for your next keyb. I am such an advocate for Palm, man. I think Palm is just an amazing plate material. The real benefit to acrylic is that it's really inexpensive, and that's how you're able to pull off designs like this at, you know, sub $200 price, sub $150 price. it's not my go-to material of choice. It's very brittle. It's very easy to break. But I mean, it works. It's nice, especially for the price. But I do still prefer palm. I'm in no way a plastic expert, though. I didn't get to try the PVC plate when I had the salamander. Actually, I borrowed the salamander to do a build to try out the PBT plate and the PVC plate, but I built it with the PBT plate first, and I didn't like it, and I was too lazy to desolder it, and then try the PVC plate and then desolder it again to send it back to him. So I didn't really try it, but they seemed pretty similar when I was using them in my hand in terms of like actual flexibility. Half plates or full plates? I haven't used enough half plates to really gauge how much I like them. I do have one coming for my Xeno, which has not shipped yet because I got rose gold PVD parts, so my batch hasn't shipped yet, unfortunately, and that's going to be my first half plate that I own. I have tried FR4. That's a fiberglass though. So FR4 is actually the stands for fire rating. Has a fire rating of 4, but yeah, when you see FR, it's just fiberglass. I like it. I think to me it's a little bit closer to carbon fiber in terms of how it feels in a keyboard build. It's not quite as relatable to a lot of the other plastic plates that I've used. It's good though. I like it. I like pretty much any plate that isn't metal. Not that metal plates are bad particularly, but I'm just kind of over them because I've been in the community for 4 years now, 5 years now. So metal plates, I've experienced them, and they're all generally pretty rigid, and I tend to prefer softer, more flexible typing experiences. Is anyone else streaming right now? Can I raid anyone? I don't think Nathan's live yet. Oh, Man of Interest is live. Maybe we'll raid him. Let's go raid Huey. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Shout out once again to Slippery Pete for the prototype. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. We're gonna go raid Man of Interest. We're gonna raid Huey, and we're gonna tell him he has beautiful hair and a beautiful smile. Because that's what we do when we raid people. It's a wholesome raid. Alright guys. Peace. Raider Rooney.